Next type of irrigation, that is called as surface or subsurface well. We have learned that the water that comes through the rainwater, it is carried by the river and streams, goes and seep into the ground also, and some water goes and meet to ocean. Now the water stored in the ground, it is called groundwater, or it is also called by the name subsoil water. And this subsoil water is also used for the irrigation also, and for domestic purposes for our day-to-day uses. And the use of underground water can be in a different forms. So the one form is called by the name wells. So there are three types of wells: unlined wells, lined wells, and tube wells. And I do remember that when we discussed about the topographical chapter, in that we have learnt what are the types of wells. Let's try here. Unlined wells. Unlined wells are called by the name kacha wells, means not constructed. And these are only the large holes dug at the parallel to the fields. Okay, and these are not lined one. Lined in the sense they are not bordered or not built with the bricks or cement. And these are what very cheaper and easier to dig, because at the sub level or the surface level we do have the water, and there is no lots of construction work is done. Next one, lined wells. Now lined wells are called as pakka wells, and these are lined with the brick, okay, and the cement. And these are perennial one because these are deeper inside, and in order to store the water they are built up. Okay, now wells can be dug in the areas where the water table is high and the soil is soft, clay. So they will work as reservoirs and the water can be easily stored. Now lined and perennial lined wells are expensive than the unlined wells because of the building cost. So total 40% of India's land is irrigated by such type of wells, lined, unlined wells. Okay, let's try here the advantages and disadvantages. Advantages of well irrigations: first, easy to dig. Next, it can be dug at any place where subsoil is rich or subsoil water is very rich. It can be easily accessible to the farm because it is located in the farm itself, so we need not to have lots of efforts to take out the water and provide to the field. Next one, it is cheaper to construct, and farmer has a control over the supply of water because it is in the hand of farmer how much water he wanted to give to the land, that much he can try to give it and control the excess use of that. Well does not occupy larger areas because it is individually used, so here lots of area is not occupied by the wells. Next, disadvantages of well irrigations. The disadvantages: first, surface wells which are very parallel to the surface, they are not very deep, so during dry season there is a possibility that they will go dry. And well irrigations, as they are very small ones, they irrigate only smaller area, means one families or one to small areas. Irrigations through well is time taking and causes strain to the draft animals. We know that most of the time it was taken out by the help of animals, okay, that is called as a rahats or the Persian wheels. Right now here you can see, so it takes a lots of strain to the animal. The well water sometimes can be brackish, and that is unsuitable for irrigation. Where irrigation is mostly important and prevalent in northern plains because northern plains are soft land. So here in Uttar Pradesh, then we can have Haryana, Punjab, Bihar, West Bengal. There we can have the good amount of well set up because of subsoil water and the soil is very soft one. Let's learn now about tube wells, one of the most important type of irrigation. We know that there is a lots of potential of underground water level, and this water can be drawn by the wells, but new modern method that is called as tube wells are also useful in that case. So with the drilling machine we have a bore well that goes deep inside the ground, and we try to find out the groundwater, and with the help of electricity it is taken out. That is called generally by the name tube well, and it is the most commonly one. We all are knowing about it and mostly we use in our day-to-day life. The first tube well or a bore well that was attempted in 1930 by Sir William Stamp, and that he tried to build or construct in the area of Ganga and Jamuna Doab, where there is a soft soil. Now in order to extract or in order to attempt the tube wells, what are the specific requirements we need to have? The requirements of first, the groundwater supply should be sufficient one. According to groundwater supply, we may get the water. For example, if it is at the shallow depths, easily we can get it. If it is more deeper, then we need to go more deeper in order to get the tube well water, and somewhere it can be failure also. Next, cheap electricity is required because tube wells water can be taken out with the help of electricity only, and if the electricity is costly, it cannot be affordable for the farmers. So cheap electricity cost for boring and tube well is a lots of. So in order to compensate the cost, the agriculture land where we are trying to attempt the tube well should be fertile one, so we can compensate the cost of boring. And the area where we are about to construct the tube wells, that should not have the extreme climatic conditions, not too hot and not too dry. This way this will affect the underground water level, and there are the possibility not to get the proper water for the tube well. What are the advantages? First, it can irrigate a large area. In dry periods, they do not go dry because they are using the permanent water level or water channel that are there into the ground level, so it can go for a longer period of time, even into the dry period also. Water is not polluted because it is not mixed one. They are not affected by the failure of rain because of the storage of water underground, and they do not give the strain to men and animals. They are worked by electricity, so easily we can try to extract the water by only using the electricity. That's a plus point we have over the other methods that we have discussed. Disadvantages: it's very costly one because first you need to drill it, second we need to put the submersible pump in that, so it may be costly affair for the poor farmers, especially in India, those who cannot afford it. Somewhere, especially in remote areas where it is constructed, there the cheap electricity may not be available, so it can cost a bit to the farmers. The tube well construction is possible in soft subsoil, but in peninsular India, just like in South India where there is a hard soil, the tube well becomes popular in the northern states only. Means in South India it is not possible to have the proper tube well extraction because of the hard soil, so it may take a wrong impression in order to have the bore wells in South India because of the hard rocky structure, so there we can have wells. So total land that is irrigated by tube well is 23%, and they are useful mostly in alluvial plains of Punjab, especially in Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and other states like Gujarat, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, and everywhere where there is a possibility we can have the good amount of tube wells. So these are some of the important conventional types of irrigation systems we have in India, and these are widely used. But one problem these all three have, they are mostly having the wastage of land, because lots of land is required in the conventional type of irrigation facilities. Second, there is a lots of wastage of water too. Somewhere there is a water logging just like in canal, and that increases the salinity of the soil. Okay, and because of these problems, these are not sufficient enough and cannot be utilized at full extent to complete the needs of water. So in order to cover up this, new modern irrigation methods have been developed. So there are few methods which can overtake the traditional irrigation systems, and we can try to save the land, we can try to save the water, and there cannot be any other problems that are generally faced by the traditional irrigations. Which one these are? The moderns include especially the sprinkler irrigation, then drip irrigation, center pivot irrigation, sub or sip irrigations, and these all we are about to discuss quickly in this part.